welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 12th of December, everybody. This is officially halfway once we are done with this square. We're halfway through our 24 days countdown to Christmas. And for nobody that was with me yesterday, I've started using these trays from Wilson's 3D Designs. She's very kind to send me a Christmas present with permission to open early, I think. If not, I gave myself permission to open early. And I've now adapted the idea, oh, that one's a bit small, of using these trays for the remainder of this Whip and Chat, this advent calendar. And that is for a couple of reasons. One, it saves me going and having to remember to bring in the other tray that I use constantly for all my diamond paintings. It means I can have these in here and I can have the other ones in our conservatory so that I can diamond paint and complete other projects that I've got on the go. And it means that I can use one to just hold the black, because pretty much every square, I think this square only had 2 or 3, but pretty much every square has had black. In fact, every square has had black so far in this design. So I can keep one tray with my black 310 diamonds in it, and then I can just pop the lid on and I can use the other one for all the other colours. And it just takes that one step out of the process, especially when you have a painting that has so many colours. So much of one colour. And it's very easy when it's the likes of a 310 or 3865, which is white. It's very easy to know that you are working with that said colour that is all over the painting. So I do like the idea, and I think I may well be doing something using these trays for other diamond paintings that have the same sort of thing. Mainly when there is either a big outline, big outside block of maybe 3865, which is a white. So if it has a big block of that on the outside, that scatters within the painting, or like this one where there's a lot of 310 dotted about, I think it's ideal to just have a tray that you don't have to mess about with, tipping them all back in and tipping them all back out each time you do a section. I've put fresh wax in this pen, and of course every now and then I'm picking up 2 diamonds and they just keep dropping onto the canvas, but it's fine. We need lots in this one, so I will have places to put them. And now it won't pick any up. Needs to make its mind up, or I need to make my mind up on what I'm doing. I've just wiped some of the wax off, maybe that's my problem. It takes a little bit to sort of settle into the groove and get the wax in the pen in the right place. That makes it easy to pick up and place all the diamonds, but we are getting there. It's quite a bit of a scattering of the black on this one. I don't quite know where I'm going with it. I think I'm following a line and a pattern, and then I realise there's a big gap. So we'll get on with the 310, and what was one of the... Oh, that was it. So there was a question that I sort of went to read out at the end of yesterday's, and I was like, that might take a bit longer than the couple of minutes that I've got left to do. So the question was, any diamond painting tools you wish you didn't purchase? Probably a couple. Nothing too drastic. I did order from another company on Etsy who do 3D printed trays, diamond painting trays, and I ordered some sort of fancier designs rather than practical designs. I think that was more the difference between them. Absolutely gorgeous, very well made. No problems with the company itself, which is why there's no point in naming names, because the company itself was great. However, I didn't order something that I think was practical and actually made diamond painting easier. If they're designs that you like and love and they bring a smile to your face, then you know they're worth having for a different reason. They're worth having because they make you smile while you're diamond painting, or you know, they bring spark joy, in the words of Marie Kondo. If it sparks joy, then it was worth keeping. But the practicality wise for me didn't bring that joy that made them worth it for me, especially with shipment from the States, and I'm pretty sure there was customs on the package as well. So that's probably one tool that I regret spending money on. I don't think it ended up being worth it. I don't know if there's any others that are particularly big amounts that then haven't been worth it in any way. I do have a roller that you can use to press down your diamond paintings. That was probably something that I didn't need to spend the money on, in the fact that I have a rolling pin in the kitchen that does the job perfectly well and doesn't particularly get used for much else. As I said, I'm not keen on cooking. So yeah, that's probably something that I didn't necessarily need to purchase. However, I do still use it because it's easier to get hold of than the rolling pin, because that roller stays in my craft room. I can't think of anything else that I've particularly spent money on and not necessarily used. I do find that I don't tend to use the cheaper light pads anymore. Now that I have my wireless one, so it's a more expensive one. My hubby got it me for my birthday, and you can charge it up and then use it without any wire. So that I find that I use now, and that's more of an upgrade. It was an upgrade to a posher one, and because of that, and because of the sturdiness of it and the thickness of it, I don't use any other now. I constantly use that one. Apart from that, I think I use everything that I've got. I'm probably forgetting something. Somebody will probably shout out and say, what about this that you bought and unboxed? And I'll be like, oh, yeah. But all I can think of off the top of my head that is a more expensive thing was those trays. The trays that weren't, you know, basic and practical, but they were fun. And they just didn't work for me for diamond painting. I would have, maybe if I'd have purchased the stoppers that they did at the same time, similar to what these have, maybe if I'd have purchased those and or the lids, it would have been more practical for me. But it wasn't worth me spending the money to just get those and get them shipped over again from the States. So I think that's the only thing that I'd say was probably a mistake. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've sort of got hanging around in my craft room that I've not particularly touched. If I have, it's pretty well hidden. yeah, so I think that's the only tool. All my pens I love. I do probably have too many, but I wouldn't necessarily say I regret buying any of them because I like them all. So, you know, that's just a little bit of an indulgence, and I do have probably a few too many. But hey, it's bringing variety. So far I think I've managed to use 12 different pens for this whip and chat, and you never know. I might get further on. I just can't remember which ones I've used and which ones I haven't. But I do know I have a few more to use that I've not yet used in these whip and chats. So we'll see how many days I get to go without doubling up on a pen if I've not accidentally done it already. So that is black, that is the black finished. So I am a bit low on, I'm going to move on to the red tray now. Put the lid on my green one. So that is now for tomorrow. I do only have a few questions left that are on my sheet. I do need to check through the last couple of days' videos and make sure that I note down the questions ready for tomorrow. But I've been a little busy. It's been a working week. So now we are at the weekend. Whoop whoop. Love the weekend. But now we have hit the weekend, I am hoping that I will get a bit more time to write down and respond and like comments that have come in, because I do like to be able to spend the time to do that. Excuse me. Okay, we do have a few twos, but how many? Probably enough to tip a few diamonds out, but not too many. We're quite a bit scattery on the symbols today. It seems as though we're bringing a few of the edges of this design in together. Thought I saw some more. Think that's it. If not, I'll just have to go dipping into the tub at a later time. Okay, what else? Ooh. Did you complete everything planned in 2020? Nope. I don't know if there's anybody that did. If you did manage to complete everything you planned in 2020 before the pandemic hit, go you, is what I can say to that. I think there's mainly one thing that stands out that definitely didn't happen in 2020. In fact, somebody actually mentioned it on a video. But I was due to visit Australia this year. I was due to go and visit my family, my niece, my nephews in Australia and spend some time there. And it was actually Megan's turn to go this year as well. And that didn't happen. My second eldest, Caris, she was actually due to go. Well, in fact, my brother was due to come over to the UK. And Caris was due to go back with him. With him and his wife and my two nephews. They were all due to fly back together. And then she was going to spend, I don't think she'd fully decided, but a few months out there. Not sure whether she was going to do the working visa or whether she was just going to do, I think she'd chosen to just do a visitor's visa and sort of spend some time out there and figure out whether she did want to do the full working visa. I think that's where she was up to. But of course, with COVID hitting and everything else, that trip actually ended up getting cancelled. She did eventually get a refund on her flights. It was unsure whether she would, because of course that was dependent on, no fly restrictions being given out or coming from governments as to how a refund would be processed. But she did end up getting a refund for the flights that were booked. So she got even closer than I did. I didn't get to actually booking the flights. Still trying to figure out the timings with my daughter being a teacher, with Megan being a teacher and me flying out with Megan. It was a lot more tricky. So I'm actually not sure when I am going to get out to Australia again, which is a little bit of a shame, but things need to calm down first. Once they've calmed down and settled down and things have got a little bit more in order and a little bit more back to normal, then a trip to Australia will be on the cards. That'll be fun with YouTube. I don't think I've been to Australia with a video a day kind of schedule. We'll see. It might have to spread out a little bit whenever that does happen, unless I can figure out some sort of setup in Australia to do. But I think I'll be a bit busy. My niece and my nephews tend to keep me a little bit busier when I'm out there, which is fine by me. Oh, do we have more fours? We do. See, look, we're all over the place today. Yeah, I think that was the main thing that sort of didn't happen. I was due to take a couple more trips to Dublin for some work exams, but they ended up being done online. So while I didn't have the quick trip to Dublin, I did still get the exams done. So, and it's not like I particularly got to see any of Dublin while doing these exams anyway. So I just saved myself a flight and a hotel and a couple of hours in an airport each way. So there's no real argument on that one. I think online worked a lot better in my opinion. So long may that part continue. Yeah, I think they were the only main things. I think we were looking at / planning a potential family holiday. Again, that hadn't been worked out because of dates. So dates to Australia hadn't been worked out alongside if, when and where we were going to have a family holiday. It didn't quite get to the full planning stages because COVID appeared and just put a pause on everybody's life, but time still went by. I think that's the way that I sort of describe it. The world kept going, but I have found as the months have gone on, so the first month or so I think seemed to drag a little bit more. Whether it's because more places shut down, I'm not sure, but it did seem to drag. Maybe because it was sort of the beginning of getting used to the change. But now I've got used to the change, I do feel that time has sort of sped up again a little bit. And I am hoping that now the vaccine is out and has started to be given out. So the first UK vaccine was given a few days ago. I'm kind of hoping that that is the biggest step we've done so far to get back to normality. I'm hoping that's the direction it's heading in, but we'll see. Okay, and then the last question that I have written down is, how's the Heaven and Earth Designs coming along? I did check in on this and did bring this up in an earlier video, but at the moment I think it's still at a pause. I think it's still at probably the last place it was at the last time I did a whip and chat. But I do plan on, I've said this before, I know I've said this before, and it was the truth before and it's the truth now, It's just whether things actually allow it to happen. But I currently have 4 diamond painting projects on the go. 5 if you include this advent calendar. So I have the 3 that I did kitting up videos for before the advent calendar started. So I have a 40 by 40 circle painting, which is in round diamonds. I have the rose from the Navy store, which is 30 by 40 in square. And I have the Dreamer Designs, which, for your information, I did end up asking them to help out because the canvas is awful. Oh, and I've just noticed I need to pay attention. I had a diamond that got stuck. In fact, I need one of those because I missed one up here. I did end up asking them for some help with that because I was just struggling so much to see the symbols. And they did send me a link to the chart itself. I did try it with a section and it was complicated to try and figure out, especially because one of the symbols was actually different on the chart that they sent me to what my actual canvas is. And also one of them, no, it was because you couldn't sort of mark off where you'd done, because it was just, you know, just a very big colourful PDF of it. I haven't tried to import it into Pattern Keeper software, and maybe that's something, if I can import it into there, maybe I could work with it a little bit easier. But it was very hard to sort of work out where you were up to because the canvas isn't gridded and the PDF isn't gridded. So it was hard to tell because, of course, some of the squares are covered up with diamonds because I've done that section. So I gave it a go and it sort of gave me a rough idea, but it was not easy. Then what I did for the next section that I did is I did every single symbol that I could see. Every single symbol that I could see, and then I did the symbols that I could work out because it was the only one in that colour that was hard to read. And then I have 2 green symbols that are awful. They're right next to each other and they're extremely similar. And what I did for those then is I did a mixture of the light pad and a very strong overhead daylight, hot light type lamp right over the top, and with that on full brightness I could just about figure out one of the symbols and see it. So I placed all of those diamonds and then the rest were the other colour. So I think that's going to have to be the way I do it going forward. The only thing is these 2 green symbols are everywhere in this diamond painting, so we'll see how fun that becomes. But I have those 3. And then if you saw the mystery diamond painting unboxing from Fancells yesterday, I might have kitted that up. So I'm working between those paintings and of course this advent calendar, so all 5 paintings, and I'm making myself do a section of each before I move on. Now some of them will get completed quicker and once some of those are completed I'm going to start including my Heaven and Earth designs in my little cycle. So close to not having the memory card save. I was just placing the last diamond when it beeped at me. So yeah, Heaven and Earth design hasn't moved much. I do want it to move. I just keep getting distracted with pretty paintings. So I'm going to work, I keep doing that with the Zoom as well. So I am going to work it into my schedule or my rota of diamond paintings. And I'm hoping to make, that's my 2021 goal, is to make a fair amount of progress with the Heaven and Earth designs. We'll see how it goes. Cross fingers for me. Okay, so that is day 12 done. I think we definitely have a pumpkin in this. What we have going on around it, I'm not sure. Where do we move to tomorrow? We're right up in the top corner tomorrow. So I'm expecting a lot of black. That corner that I peeled back is definitely black, but we'll see how it goes. But I love how a diamond painting comes together this way. So keep an eye. I have kitted up the mystery diamond painting on camera, but of course that will come up on a video after we've finished the advent calendar, and of course once it is completed I will show you what it looks like. But that is today's done. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow.